I could like find more interest in the same topic. Like deep dive into more of my interests, learn about what I like, trying to understand myself better, how to understand myself better, and yeah, how to take responsibility too, because I was very bad at it. But now, by looking at other people and new exposures, all those stuff helped me a lot.
Yeah, so can you tell them what is your interest? One example.
Yeah, so I have many interests, but one interest is mostly art. So in art, it helped me, like there are more people in this community, so I can like ask, even if they don't know much about it, I can just ask people. They can go and like find or help me all those stuff. So just you know, connecting mostly all those stuff.
Okay, coming to her art journey, she really liked it from young age, but she never got a classes. So she used to do on her own. I think she was like completely exploring different mediums, different way of drawings. There are different things.
That I didn't know before.
She never knew all that. Now she's like completely into it. Every month she takes up one kind of topic and she works on it. She learns every month. Not only that, she has many interests right now. She's exploring many things and she's getting exposure also while doing all those things. So she's in those two stages still. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If anything else, you guys go ahead and ask.
Yeah, before people ask, Arpita and Kiara, especially Arpita, how do you look at it from a responsibility perspective? Look back and say, okay, so if she has been like given or she's the responsible person for herself. So how has been your, let's say, experience of that, or how do you look at it in that way from a responsibility perspective?
Yeah, actually, it was a major learning process for me as well, because when I am sending her to school, I just need to make her get ready, pack tiffin, and just send her. Once she comes back, I need to make her do homework. That was my responsibility. Exams means I have to be behind her and make her study and make her pass. That was my responsibility, which was very irritating for me. But now, when she is into this kind of learning, I had to let her go also. There are times when I had to leave her to learn things by herself. I somehow feel that has become, I mean, that kind of learning has become my responsibility, to leave her, to let her be, to let her explore. Because when she said she'll do art, I'm like lost. Okay, only art. What will she do after art? So I was like, I had to mentally get prepared. And then I have to make her understand how to be responsible in her art journey, because she was like all freedom. She's at home, or she's at campus, she's happily enjoying, but she should be responsible about her own tasks which she plans. Those are the small steps which I have learned through Aarohi community, that every day she or myself, we plan some things together and separately for ourselves, and then make sure you're responsible for that one particular task and finish it.
We also collaborate. So collaboration means my mother will be in some work. I can probably finish my work faster than her, but she also has to take responsibility of her stuff. So we look at each other's responsibility like that too.
Yeah, and there are times when she needs my help. We both together sit together and learn certain things. So at that time, she needs to come up with some ideas. She can't just say, Mama, you teach me this. No, that is not allowed. So she needs to come up with one idea, like, this is the art I want to do. So how do I do it? Or some product if she wants to create. She has to come up with all the list of things she needs. Then I have to look for this. This is the kind of learning we both are doing together, and we both are responsible for whatever we are doing. And there are days when we don't do those things also. Like there are days I have to shout at her and tell her, why didn't you finish this? You said you will do this. All those kind of things happen. Those are all have become very normal in our day-to-day life, but a little less nowadays.
We have understood.
Yeah, we both understand each others way of working. And when she decides whatever she decides, early morning we discuss. If she is finishing those, of course she won't get any shouting from me. But if she is not finishing, she knows clearly that I will ask her. So she is very serious about it.
Responsibility.
To finish her task. So that's how it works for us. Right now, we are there. So I feel she is responsible enough for now. So she needs to be more responsible, according to me. But for now, she's fine. She's fine. She's doing her task for now. So I'm happy with that.
Lovely, lovely.
So
Super,
can I ask?
thanks. Yeah. Let's open two questions.
Arpita
is that
and
okay?
Kiara, I have
Yeah,
a question for Kiara more so. Kiara, what are the changes in the process of learning that you are going through from schooling to open learning? And second is, what shift of sources that you are having in terms of learning? Earlier, you had a particular source, say probably school when you go, there are typically textbooks and all. But now, what are the different sources that you are availing? So, process and the source.
So for now, the sources are people around me, and my surroundings too. Because like if I look around mostly when I'm literally blank, I look around myself, look around my surroundings, and then I get ideas from that. So that's also one type of source I have to help myself. And then I also have myself. So I think about all my past stuff, so that would help me in some way or the other. So yeah, and then I read books too. I don't only be like, okay, now I'm in open learning, I'll be by myself. So I also read books and all that. So from the books also, I write and all, like some of that is there, but I didn't leave it. So some of that is still there.
Okay, you forgot Google, YouTube.
No, I don't use that much. So I didn't say.
Okay. So that was my mistake. I was thinking she's picking up from Google and YouTube, but she says no, not much. So okay, corrected. And then she comes to me and we both talk, and we go out for walks where she looks around. As she was saying, she looks at all the plants, trees. If she has a doubt, what is that, she makes sure she goes and finds it out. All that kind of strong learning feeling she has now, and I feel that is because she is doing her interest. She's learning her own interest. In the school, books were there. That's it. Only books.
No, books are also fine. Those are pretty informative at that time. But the only thing is the learning process there. That is just too much for me, at least.
It was forceful learning for her. I was forcing, teachers were forcing, everybody were behind her. Yes, padke aao, this, you finish this and come. So now it's not there. So she finishes by herself. She knows she has to finish 3 drawings a day. She decides on how many drawings, what kind of drawings, everything, what kind of techniques. She finishes them in the day. If she is missing out, if she picked up a tough drawing, she does only 2. Then the third one goes for tomorrow. It's like,
just leave it like that. I can't leave it like that. My mind won't let me also. So even if it's hard, I'd probably find ways to make it easier. Because art, I can't leave. The more harder I choose, the more information I get. So if it's something hard, I'll be like, okay, this type of technique, wow, cool, I never knew that. So one more thing added to my learning list. So
I'm so happy to hear all that.
On that
Actually,
note,
we never
Kiara,
get. Preeti, go ahead.
carry on. Arpita, carry on.
We both never get to talk about these kind of things particularly. Today you are asking, so I'm also listening. So I'm happy today.
You should come for more such meetups.
Yeah, I think so.
So on that note, Kiara, I again want to ask you, like, how do you connect your learning journey of art along with many other things that you do? Like, how do you include many other things in art? Am I
Like
confusing? No.
Yeah, like which way? What do you mean?
Okay, so I'll give example because I've seen that you do like when you're doing fish and you're doing a technique of drawing in it, then how you also connect different types of fish and their learning about fish. So all of that, how do you connect your learning journey in many different ways?
Preeti, after she answers, I also want to answer the same question.
Okay. So, as Preeti said, one thing fish. So, example, it's fish. So, like we go on trips are related to fish, if that's the topic. So, if you go there, they'll give some information about those different fishes, not only the fish that I have learned. So, around my surroundings, that particular fish, I can learn more about it that I didn't know. And then, if it is for birds, this place where I am, my surroundings are filled with birds. So, if I see some bird that I have never seen before, I'd be more interested to learn about it more and more deeper. So, I'd be like, okay, now I have to find that bird, know its habitat, where it lives, all those, etc., etc. So, it has my surroundings are very useful because mostly all my topics are about nature. So plants, birds, all that. It helps me learn about that. Something on that.
Okay, I'll go with the answer. Preeti. So we at home we have one concept of picking one topic of her interest and then researching on it. She will research deeply about it and then make a presentation out of it and draw each every day she needs to draw something out of it.
So it's like research, learning, plus drawing my interest. Yeah.
So basically, research, drawing is her interest, so that is included, and then presenting it. She needs to learn how to do all that. So last month she picked fish as her topic. So she learned about like 30 more than 30 fishes right now, and we decided to go on a trip to see aquarium, the big aquarium, so she can see them live there, and we can have different kind of experience. And as she was saying, the nature thing, the surroundings and everything, once we left school system, we were free to live anywhere we want. So we came to a village, very open, like away from the city, which I was craving for. So we came to this kind of community where it is like completely nature. So everything is working out well for us and for her learning also. Through this monthly research thing, I'm also learning a lot. When she says birds, when we are going for walks, she talks about so many birds. She has so many names, that sounds she recognizes the names. So she's teaching me also. So it's going really well for both of us, literally.
Okay, more questions from more people. Yeah, sorry.
What was the community? Was it Grama Farms? I was looking at places around Aarohi.
No, actually, it's called Empyrean. It's near Chikkatirupati, Sarjapur.
Okay.
So this place, there are some more families, so they introduced us to this. So it's good.
Okay, I have a question for Kiara. So, how did you find yourself? I was so impressed when you said at such a young age, I never heard people say like they found what they really are. So, how did Aarohi help, and how did you find your niche or passion for arts and Tell more and more.
How do I find my passions, right? Okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
Yeah, so I don't know how I was in young age, but I heard a lot of stories from my parents. Like I was like when I was young, I heard these stories. So they used to say that I used to take a brush, just paint whatever I wanted to paint. Just by hearing those words, I got more interested. Like how could I, like make some masterpiece like that? I mean, it is a masterpiece for my age at that time. It's literally, it's literally boarded up on the wall. So it's really cool for my age. So I thought I got more interested to be more creative and all those. And while finding my interests, art became one. So from art, I tried different types of topics. I already love nature, so I'm like, okay, why don't I try nature? So that includes birds, leaves, all those. And then I got more of my interests coming, just adding up on the list. So yeah, that's how I found myself.
Does Aarohi encourage in particular, like finding interests, or what do they do at Aarohi to get more out of that from you?
Yeah, it actually helps me a lot because there are like separate channels of interest. So, in the art thing, if I send one of my artwork, they give me feedback on how like how I should be better or not better, like what I could do more, all those. So from that way, I learn that I could do this. So if I think like I could do that, it goes to many other topics too, not only the thing that they said. So if I understand that, uh, it goes up for the same other topics, because like I'd say that what bird is this, they'd give me something, we'd have a whole conversation. So that is pretty helpful for me because I don't converse much that much. So that helps, everything helps. Any more questions, people?
Yeah, please use this opportunity to know how these girls are doing
Do you
it.
have people from your age group, Kiara, or how are your peers like? Your age group kids are there around you at Aarohi, or what?
Well, we not, of course, not everyone is like me. So if it comes to people socializing technically, I am very bad at that. So there, if I go to campus, automatically there will be more people. I can't do anything about it. So that way, I can, like, learn to just merge into my surroundings, get better at merging into my surroundings. That includes talking, emotions, all those interests, getting to know other people's interests. For my age, we probably have similar interests, not the same, but similar interests. So we'd have stuff together, converse, and yeah.
Are there more of your age group kids there?
Yeah, there are not all. Like there'll be some older, younger. So yeah.
There are mixed.
What do you
group
like?
of-
What do you like most at Aarohi?
At Aarohi, I like the fact that it helps me socialize. That's the main thing. And
Is that campus?
yeah, that is no, it's on online too, because even on online I tend to not talk to people much, like chat. So it helps me talk, socialize, connect, all that. And then nature is one. So at nature part, there'll be different types of species there that I could be friends with, or learn how to befriend them, or learn to help them, probably, or help myself from them, save myself, something like that. So animals, nature, socialize.
Basically, she's learning to live, living.
Yeah.
Is Arpita's network bad for me or for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's in between little breaking, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's just carry on.
In between it was, but now it's fine. You can go ahead.
Yeah, there's so many more people who have joined. Please go ahead, use this opportunity to get to know how one family is doing it. Just underlining that the whole idea of open learning is there are different families. Each family does it in different ways. So it's always very interesting to get to connect with different families, different children, different parents, and how they are looking at their journey, their life, their way of learning. So that's the whole idea. So please go ahead, ask, and yeah, let's see what all we can learn. Lots of things we can learn from Arpita and Kiara. I think, Kiara, you have enamored everybody so much that they are speechless. I'll take it that way.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Absolutely.
I have a general question, it may not be for Kiara, but so is it just Ratnesh or are there more adults there who can like supervise or teach kids? I'm very new to open learning, so trying to understand how many. I hate to use the word, but teachers are there, or how many students are there, or how many learners are there. The numbers basically, like how many adult or
After Kiara answers, I'm also ready.
Is that question only for Kiara or can I also answer?
no, for you also, Arpita. You can
Okay. Okay, so I'll go. So Ratnesh and Aditi are always there, and there are facilitators also who will be ready to answer. And there are the full community parents are there. Like if anybody has any question, they're always answering. They're always, as she was saying, feedback keeps coming from parents and the kids. There is nothing like parents and kids here. So
And
everybody.
the kids can also be parents for the oldest. So there's no old or young. Everyone are parents and kids.
I totally agree with that
Okay.
because there are many days I get advice from her. There were days when I need that kind of advice and she's there. So that way, in Aarohi community itself, there are kids who give advice as well. I have learned some kind of drawings from young kids. But personally, I wanted to learn, so I was in the that club and I just learned. So there's no kid and adult here. So everybody are available to teach. Whoever knows how much ever, they are ready to teach. And there are books around. They just suggest you. They don't give the direct answer. They make you learn. They make you go and look for things by yourself. That's what is making us, like personally me also, learn by myself. That's what open learning I feel.
Okay.
Preeti, my answer is done. You can go ahead.
I'm also done.
Yeah, for people who are new to open learning, because we have been so schooled, we have the sense of teacher and a student concept where there is a learned person and there is a learner, and we have to just model from them. But I think just trying to understand how it works here. I appreciate that.
So, Pradeep, just
I
in
feel
numbers.
here. Preeti, go ahead. Go ahead, Preeti. No, you go ahead.
So, in numbers, if Pradeep, if you are looking for how many teachers are there and how many students are there, so maybe we can say that there are 100 children and 100 students and 100 teachers. So we are all teaching each other. So that is why sometimes I am a child and a 5-year-old can be my teacher, and sometimes a 5-year-old is a child and I am the teacher. So that way we are 100 people all around each other.
And just to add,
Here there is no teacher and student kind of concept. That mindset change should be there, and it happened naturally to me because we just went there and we learned. That's it. We started learning things by ourselves.
We learned that people are people there.
Yeah, people are people. No teacher, no student.
just to add, Pradeep, apart from the human beings that we are talking as teachers and students, there is nature around us, as what Kiara has been constantly speaking. She learns a lot from nature. So I think we can't count that. So cannot be counted rather in a way. So there's a lot to learn from our surroundings, as he's constantly been harping that word. So there is abundance around us from which we can learn. So there doesn't have to be any particular individual or human source to do that.
Yeah, I only heard about like Shakespeare learning on his own.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I
So,
haven't seen
after
anything.
all the rosy, goody talk, I will also want to throw some questions for you, Pradeep, because when we ask for, how many resource people, teachers, facilitators are there, we are also looking for a particular outcome from that interaction, which is predetermined, right? And that's the challenge that we all face when we look at open learning. And I don't mean open learning as an institution in our, as a practice in Aarohi, but rather open learning in our own lives, right? So it goes back to the question that Ratnesh posed at the beginning: what is the purpose of education, right? So if it is learning, that learning has to be led and determined by the individual. So if you ask me who's the first facilitator for the learner, it's the learner. That's what we are trying to achieve in Aarohi, where each individual is facilitating their own journey. And while doing that, they're also doing it with the community, right? So the objective of open learning is not to be trained by Ratnesh or facilitated by Preeti or Arpita or Kiara or any individual, right? So the objective of open learning is that I learn as I live.
Right, to teach the child or learner to learn by themselves or self-learning kind of.
Yeah, and that's
They know how
why
to learn. They can learn from anything. Yeah.
And that's why when we say like Arpita and Preeti and Kiara were noting that everybody on campus is a learner and everybody is a facilitator, which means that even Ratnesh is learning something, or whoever is on campus is learning something, and they're sharing their learning. So the idea of facilitation there is not to teach you how to do things, but rather let others learn as you do your stuff, right? Be a co-traveler rather than trying to be a guide.
Yeah, thanks, Vijay. Guru is your part of your name, or like Guru coming,
Yeah, it
coming
is.
in? Yeah, you spoke like a true Guru. Thanks.
Yeah, Tejas, your question is not at all naive. It's a very good question. I'll let some of the others answer. There's a message on the chat, folks.
Preeti, you want to answer that?
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry, I was on mute and talking. Okay. So Ratnesh, if you could share that one slide, just one last slide that you share in which we say that the whole world is our learning space. So,
Sure,
and
sure. Just give me a moment. Yeah, but you can start talking. I will just
yeah, yeah. So, the question is about meeting online. So, Tejas, we are offline, present as campus. There is a campus, Aarohi campus, 60 kilometers away from Bangalore. You can, we as a family go and stay there also. That is not online, that is offline, physical form campus there. Then online also we connect, which is Aarohi X. So that is and we are absolutely a Aarohi family, and we are very well connected. And then there is Coversity also, which is 13 years plus. Then if you see the slide, then first campus is your own home, where we as family connect with each other, we co-learn with each other, we uh, discuss and we do lots of things together. Then campus is there, OL families are there, connected online, offline, every way. We meet at different places, we go to different places, in the sense that if when I travel from Mumbai to Bangalore, then I make sure that at least 2, 3 families I go and visit their homes and meet them personally, apart from going to campus also. If I go to Surat, if I go to Jammu Kashmir, I'll go and meet Aarohi families there. So that is how I also connect and make friends and be with each other. Then travels is covered, and then also we as Aarohi community, we also travel together. We go for like surfing. We went to Mulki for surfing together. 25 of us were there. We went for trekking together. 20 of us were there. So whoever suits, whoever finds it feasible and can be part of that travel plan, which we as Aarohians create, then we all travel together. So these are many different ways how we connect as a community. Apart from that, as Ratnesh always says, and we all Aarohians, everybody from Aarohi says that whole world is our resource, and we all learn from every space. I hope
Great.
I am.
Yeah. Thank you. That gives a good insight. I'm really impressed by the way Ratnesh and the group is handling this movement, I should say. Excellent. The problem is my son, he's a die-hard regular schooler. And however, how much ever I try, he's not ready to get pulled out. Uh, I am of the opinion that in this day and age, he should be open learning rather than wasting his time in the regular school. But I think he has understood that if he stays in the school, then probably he has the best chance to waste time. If I get him on board this one, then he'll be done for life. But rather, it's more like if he treads this path, then probably he'll start enjoying more and stick to this.
So one important thing that we also believe in is that we all are drivers of our own car. So
Yeah.
if your child has decided that he is driving some way, then he is driving it. And you have decided some way, then you are driving it. And maybe you will somewhere converge together, maybe meet somewhere, or maybe you will go apart and not meet. So it depends like how you take it forward.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking if he can do this at least part time.
I don't know, living life is part time or what.
Okay. Anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think Tejas, you have in some sense done your part. You have given him the choice, which is itself great. A whole lot of parents, somewhere in 95 to 98% don't give that choice to their children. Okay, they all say, no, you have to do this only. So it's great. You have from your side given him the choice. Now it's up to him to see what he's liking or what he's drawn towards right now. And since he knows these choices, he can take the decision at any point of time. There is no hurry. As Preeti said, let him lead. And I think that's beautiful. So we are
Right.
with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add, Tejas, probably I think what he has understood about open learning is more theory. So if possible, it's an invitation. You can come to campus. Maybe your family can come to campus, or meet other families. Let your child be there and then just interact. So that is just a invitation. So
Yeah,
for him
that's
to
a good.
get, yeah,
Yeah, Pranav, continue.
yeah, that could be one way of making him experience this thing. So it's not about
Sure.
talking or just discussing. Probably experiencing something could make a difference. So just an invitation.
Right.
To add
We
to
have,
Pranav's
Yeah.
thing, we also learned about open learning that way. We went to the campus, we experienced it, and then we decided. So that will actually help, I would say.
Right. Certainly. Sure.
okay, we have about 9 more minutes, so we can take more questions either to Kiara and Arpita, or in general about Aarohi, or about open learning. Anything that anybody wants to ask.
I read a book by Cal Newport where he says instead of following the passion, you have to first get career capital and then leverage that and convert that into uh, your your passion or your business instead of like quitting your job and then starting a business. He said like you can first try to do something with your existing skill and then get a job, earn money, and then use that money to start a business, something like that. So I see a lot of slides having passion in your things. So do you have something like that in the Coversity where once kids start changing their expertise into enterprise, do you also make them entrepreneurial? Like how do they live on their own? Because I think most of the apprehension parents may have is that this is all good, but can they make a living out of open
Yeah,
learning?
Pradeep, that's a question to be taken after 6 o'clock. That's a Coversity question. So 6 to 7 is when we talk
Okay.
about that age
Okay,
group
okay,
and
sure.
that question. So
Okay,
we'll take it
we'll
there.
bring that up at that point. Okay.
Yeah. Inviting others, especially there are a lot of first time people here. I don't know who all has joined in for the first time. So please go ahead, at least say hello to us. If you can come on video, we'll get to know who are you, kind of thing. So we can connect. And yeah, it's a journey. If first time you just want to hear, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to ask questions. The thing is, we are there every Saturday. So you can always come back any Saturday. We are there every Saturday. Plus the recordings are there on YouTube. More than 130 or 140 recordings are there. So you can look into those also. Yeah. But if you want to just say hi, you don't have to ask a question. Just say hi to the group. Little tell about yourself. That itself is so beautiful.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Selva.
Hi.
So you as a family have been doing open learning for the last 6 years. That's very
Yeah.
interesting. You want to little share how has been your journey, what all you have been doing as a family? If you're okay.
Yeah. Just we are not in any curriculum yet now. Just like unschooling, so just enjoying the life. So we are not teaching anything particularly. So just she is very much interested in cooking. So she's enjoying in cooking. She's learning out.
Sure. Super.
Yeah.
So
We
how
are
did
planning to come. We are planning to come there. Yeah, maybe this month. Yeah.
And she can cook here. We'll
Definitely,
get to
yeah.
eat her cooking.
Yeah, just
Superb, superb.
Yeah, thank you to see all of you, especially Arpita, Kaira there very much, very nice. Yeah.
And what brought you to open learning? How did you said for 6 years? I'm assuming when she was 6 years, that's the time you shifted or whatever
Yeah,
got into
yeah,
open learning.
yeah. Same thing every day when when we early morning, always fighting here. Then we seen weekly twice. He will be in sick. She will be yeah. So okay, we started to stop for 1 month. Then she was all right, nothing. So I thought she was very stressed to go to school. So we stopped. Then okay, we decided okay. So I have little bit ideas already. So I started to research on this who is other kids. So we thought it's better to be in homeschool or unschool. But she is only she's not ready for any reading writing. So just for now we leave her. Mhm. She's just enjoying. Yeah. But we are she's alone. We have only one child, so she want partners to play like that. So we are looking for community like that to participate.
Sure, Selvam, that's the whole idea. It's not just she who will get company. First of all, I will get her company, and I will get Selvam's company, and Selvam will get, let's say, Kiara's company. That's how the whole thing
Definitely,
works. It's not just
definitely.
about age or about interest. Sometimes two people who have
Yeah,
no interest common
definitely.
yet
Yeah,
get together and do a lot of different things. So yeah,
yeah,
that's the beauty. Yeah,
just love
absolutely,
is enough. Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. Okay, we have 3 minutes. One last question we can take, or a last thought, or a last introduction.
Have we plugged about the videos, recordings?
Yeah, I just mentioned it briefly, but you can definitely say more, Vijay.
Yeah, so this is like the that we
Hey,
have had.
we lost your voice in between. Can you repeat,
Okay.
please? Yeah, now it's fine. Go ahead.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. So I was just saying that we have had about 150, 160 plus, meetups on Saturdays, thanks to COVID. We started with the onset of the lockdown. And we have recorded a lot of these meetings, and the flavors of the discussions have also changed over time. So it would be lovely if you could, whoever is interested to know more about Aarohi, that's a big resource that we have, where a lot of different families have shared, just like Kiara and Arpita are sharing today. And we have had discussions with, just 3 or 4 people, but the discussion has been very enriching. And sometimes there have been 20 and so on. So it's really fun to watch these videos, just to sample here and there, get some ideas. So check out the website, the small, as well as there are other resources also, not just small as in the Saturday meetups, but other open learning resources. Other than that, we have our forms and stuff, and there's a WhatsApp group. I think Pranav has already posted the number. So if you would like to join the WhatsApp group and get to know more about Aarohi and open learning, talk about it, share your experiences, please do join. Especially Selvam, if you are not already on the group, we would like to have you join the group as well. And not just Selvam, I mean everyone for that matter. Yeah, lovely. Nice discussion today. Thank you.
Right. So now we will, thanks, Vijay. Okay, anybody else wants to say hi? We will just, we'll continue the discussion. We'll just move on to the part where we more talk about how the youth, take their journeys forward and take them into professional level. Some people think that, oh, open learning, or especially the terms unschooling, homeschooling, tend to indicate that it's only related to the schooling years, which is one reason why we left those terms and adopted open learning, because that means we do it the whole life, like how Dwiji was saying that he has been doing all his life open learning. So I think that's far more, you can say, a broader perspective, which we like. So what I will do is I will again take the liberty to run through a small presentation about Coversity, just to give you a flavor of how, with some examples of children who have done that journey, because that's always interesting to share stories about different youth who are doing or kind of have done that journey. So just for you to get the flavor. Yes, thanking Arpita and Kiara. You can be around or you can step out, but super thanks. Your energy was amazing. We missed Oreo. He went away. Oreo is their dog. But yes, it was super to have both of you. And yeah, I think that's the beauty. A lot of people are able to relate when children like Kiara come on and talk about it. Then it's much more easier to relate. Like oldies, me talking is boring. So special thanks to Kiara. Arpita, thank is always there, but special thanks to Kiara. Yes.
Thank you for having us today. We would like to step out because there's no power and we are struggling with mosquitoes here. We will be leaving then.
Sure. Thanks,
Bye.
Kiara. Thanks, Arpita.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Yeah. So let me once again share my slide and restart recording. Right. So let me run through this again quickly so that we can move into more discussions and question answers. So the Aarohi started as an open learning community in 2008, and the whole, if you ask me what is open learning, I think these three words kind of sum it up. It's about interest, it's about passions, it's about possibilities. Finally, that's what I guess life is all about. What I like doing, whom I like to be with, where I like to go, where I like to live, and so on and so forth. And there are so many possibilities in this beautiful world. Now, if we take this and go on to thinking about youth when they start moving towards the whole space where they want to now move into professional life, and not just from an earning perspective. I think earning is a smaller thing, but from the joy of doing something, adding value to the whole world. And I think that's the real thing about Coversity. It's not so much about earning. Earning, I think, will automatically happen when we start adding value to the world. And that's something that we see in these teenagers, in these youth. They have so much desire to do something out there. And that's what has really brought together this whole concept of a Coversity, where they get together, these youth, they kind of facilitate each other, and they start doing work for the world kind of thing. And obviously there's always support and all that, but the whole idea is, how do I, in the whole process of going out to the world, how do I develop myself? So one example is Asavri. She's my daughter. Actually, 23 years is 1 year older. So it's now she's 24. And she has had many interests, from dance to art to facilitation to environment to sustainability. And so lots of different interests. She's one who keeps on changing interests, but keeps on doing different things in different interests. Even as of today, at 24, she has a lot of interest. But one of her interests, she has converted it into a business. And she has a brand of her own called Dhanak Naturals. And she makes and sells personal care products out of stuff which is natural, as in no chemicals, but natural plants and herbs. So that's what she does. The reason I put her example up front is that her journey is very interesting because it's not about one passion, it's not about one interest, it's not about just doing one thing. Even as of today, she does multiple things, and that's like, I think, in a way, celebrating life in her way. That one doesn't need to get locked up in this whole thing that, oh, I have to become only this or only I have to become somebody. She's not at all into becoming anybody. She's just into enjoying things that she likes doing, and obviously she earns also out of it. So that's the whole perspective. So it's about discovering oneself, Coversity, Aarohi Coversity, and it's about growing professionally. Yeah, I like that term better rather than becoming a professional, but growing professionally. What that means is we all know the kind of skills that a professional needs, the kind of expertise that one needs to add value to the world. Another example of a journey which has many interests is Skanda. He is 17. Again, lots of different interests, but in each interest, he tries, he explores, he builds it. How do I do this? How do I do that? And so on. And yeah, right now he has last almost 1.5 years, he has been totally focusing on fitness. So he's a fitness trainer. He's already a certified fitness trainer, already earning money since last 1.5 years. For people who always keep asking, how do open learners earn money? Well, I will say not how they earn money, but they start earning money much earlier than many think, right? They start earning at 16, 17 because they simply go hard. And in fact, now he's working on setting up his fitness business. So he's looking at it in a much bigger way. The core of Coversity and open learning is that I decide, I do, and I reflect. That's the cycle, and which means it has to start by the youth, and because it's their interest, they do that. One example is Srijani. She's 16 years old. She likes baking, cooking, so she keeps coming up with different challenges for herself. Just to give you a very small example, last week she decided every day she will whip different kinds of creams and put it on all kinds of things. So it was crazy the amount of cream she would have made in a week, but that's the kind of I decide, I do that is happening. And already she has done documentation of what happened when she reduced this, increased that, tempered with this, tempered with that. So that's the kind of reflection and the learning that she is doing. The other big deal about Coversity is to have a cohort of or a group of like-minded, like similar journey people. They could all be in their own domain or interest, but because they're all together, there's a lot of pushing, pulling, helping, supporting, and obviously chilling out, which we must learn from these youth. So yeah, that's what they do together. Another example is Drupad. He's my son. He's 18 years, but apart from being very focused in football, he also likes to connect with non-footballer cohort members whom he can get a lot of support, both emotional, social, as well as even physical sometimes. Like he's connected with Skanda, and Skanda helps him with his fitness. So that's one example. Yeah. The conventional approach is typically first learn, then based on that learning, you go how to work. But at Coversity and in open learning, we turn it upside down. We say, why do we first need to learn? Why don't we just start working? And the working will lead to learning automatically. So what these youth do is they look for professional projects, they look for internships, they're always looking for something which can add value to the world, and that will make them learn. One example is Shreya. In fact, I have updated it on my status, where she's talking about how she wanted to learn something, but to learn that, instead of learning it, she took up a project which will automatically make her use that. So that's the approach. I take up a project which will automatically make me use what I need to learn, and then I will automatically learn. So that's how they go about doing it. Yeah. And finally, we talk about support. Yes, there's a lot of supports. The support comes primarily from buddies, as in the other youth. It comes from the guides which includes parents and other guides in the community, and also the rest of the community. And obviously a lot of mentors. Mentors are typically experts in the fields who are out there, who may not be part of the ROE community, but the beauty is that a lot of people are very supportive to these youth who are doing the journey. In fact, our strike rate is literally 100%. Whomever we ask, can you support this youth who is interested in the same field as yours? The answer is always yes. So that's the beauty of, I would say, human beings. So yeah, one such example is Krishiv. He's actually now 16. He has, although he keeps saying I'm a very shy person, but whenever he asks somebody that can you be a mentor to he's into graphics and animation, and invariably he has found an answer yes. So he has found multiple mentors for himself, right? Okay, final thing. How do you grow? How do you grow in your field? You grow using your own, showcasing your work. And the work comes in the form of a portfolio. So each child would make their own portfolio. Here's one example portfolio of a girl called Shrishti, and she's into writing. So she has put all her writing work there. And what you do with the portfolio is not just it helps you reflect, assess how is your journey going, but it helps you get more and more work, and that becomes your certificate as your portfolio size keeps fattening and fattening. So that's how the certification happens. The portfolio becomes the certificate. Yeah. So that's the basic thought process of Coversity. We can pause here and see if there are any thoughts or questions here. And if anybody wants to specifically know about how on a day-to-day basis how Coversity work, I can talk about that in a little while. But let's just first stop here and little discuss if there are any thoughts or questions.
So one of my cousin, he is like doing his +1, like in Andhra Pradesh. So for kids like that, do you support remote learning virtually, the Coversity, if they don't want to come to the campus?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Because they need to do, see, the Coversity is different because they would be doing intense projects, and that really can't be done remote, as in then the whole, then it's all on to them. Then they're hardly part of the Coversity, right? So the real thing is to come here, be with the cohort, because that's a very important part. That's why it's called Coversity. It's the togetherness of these youth who are together, and then, the energy among them. So that then goes missing. So yeah, no, we are not doing this remotely. Coversity is a reasonable amount of time you are at the campus doing stuff, and then some amount of time you do internships, apprenticeship. That could be in any city, including your hometown.
Okay.
Yep, more. And you don't need to have a question only with respect to Coversity. In general, within this sphere of open learning, if you have questions or thoughts about the professional part or the journey of how does one go about doing this or that and so on, we can discuss that. No issues. It's not like only Coversity talk we will do. People are thinking. So let me talk a little more. So what we have seen is, especially when children are around 13, 14, 15. So let me talk first about that age group because it's a very exciting age group. When they kind of roughly in that age group, I'm not saying it has to be only 13, 14, 15. It could happen a little early. It could obviously happen later. But what what typically happens in that, by the time they reach that age, especially if they've been open learning, but even if they've been otherwise, that they want to start doing bigger things, as in not just happy with just, exploring here and there, but they want to see it out in some form, yeah, out there into the world. It's not enough to make few YouTube videos. I should have 10,000 subscribers, so the whole focus changes from just doing things for the fun of it to taking it out to the world and making it big or doing it big. And 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 that is the first propelling energy for them to automatically develop themselves, because when they take up these bigger projects, when they say, okay, this is what I want to do with whatever I have the expertise in. Now, this whole process of doing these, I'm just using the term big projects. These could be paid projects, unpaid but client projects, or self-made projects, also self-created projects. But any which way, and it doesn't even matter whether the project is successful or not so successful. What really develops is the professional me, or the individual grows bigger because of the big project, because it just doesn't require the expertise or the skills of a particular domain. It requires a lot of other things. It requires networking, it requires researching, it requires application, persistence, quality, and so on and so forth. I'll give you one example. One boy was into carpentry, and then he got the idea from an uncle of doing things with coconut shells. And obviously we make a lot of these coconut chutneys and coconut this and coconut that. So we had these lot of coconut shells at the campus. So he said, okay. And he started working with those coconut shells, and he started making these soap dishes and different kind of basically artifacts, which are useful artifacts, which people can use at their homes. But soap dish was his most popular item out of the different things. And initially they were just a little crude, not so good looking and so on. But he worked on it. He figured out how to do the grinding, how to do the polishing, which oils to use and so on, obviously with guidance as well as his own experimentation. And very soon he was ready that I just don't want to make more. I want to make more and sell them. So I think that trigger from just making this because he enjoys doing it to selling them brought a whole lot of intensity in him. Then you will find him even at 9 o'clock in the night doing grinding with his sandpaper or with the grinding machine and so on, trying to get the right quality, right end product, because if he has to sell it, it has to be there, and his skills and his thinking has to be there. And that wasn't the end of it. Now you have to market it to people. You have to save, you have to find the pricing, the right pricing. So first exhibition he took part, he thought his pricing was too low. Everything was sold off, but then he hardly got anything in his pocket. And then he got wiser. Then he went to market, found out different things. So I'm telling this example not to show that about him, but what it did to him. His whole experience of doing that. Not that he's he's not doing carpentry anymore, by the way, but that's not important. But this because it became a big project which extended almost 3 months, actually, or maybe even more. I don't really remember, but it was kind of it took all of his mind space and time space, and that depth brought something out of him. Now he was much more ready to take on different things in different areas. So he switched his interest, he went into some other field, and that's fine. But that is what was really the difference. And like that, I mean, I can share many more stories, but I hope you get the idea that by this age, they start yearning for in some ways, or even if they're not saying it out, but when we put them into bigger projects, they kind of enjoy that. Because now, like, it's a real challenge, it's a real responsibility. So that's something that Coversity thrives on, is that them taking on their own bigger self by doing bigger things. So I just thought I can share that. And that happens at that age, and then there's no looking back. Once they are getting into this, then they don't want to do anything else but do what they like doing and take up whichever domain, but they want to take up bigger and bigger stuff. Yeah, so that's one. On any thoughts, any other questions about this age group?
Yeah, but kids like the mind, right? You start something and then you go to something, your interest always changes. So my experience about that was lack of that stability or focus. We always find interesting things. Of course, we always keep learning. But as long as it is self-sustainable or if they're earning with that, I don't mind that. So that was where my question was more about, are they self-sustainable or not?
Oh,
Still
yes, yes. That's
living
what
with the parents.
if you're talking in terms of money, yeah, they are self-sustainable much before the world is ready for, the most of the others are, because see, they're doing work out there in the world. I was giving example of Shreya, she's 18, but for the last 1.5 years, she's already been earning doing design projects. So she's into designing. And because she's doing client-based project and that's her way of learning, she's already been earning. Yeah. Okay. Maybe not earning like huge amounts of monies, but that's just the beginning. And that too at 17, 18, we're talking about another 2, 3 years, and she would already be fully into the field. So that's the beauty of it. And even if there is no hurry, so a lot of in some cases there's no hurry to earn money, but more of getting deeper into the skills. And so I think they are self-sustainable not because they can do not because they are already doing something, but because they are now capable and polished enough from inside to be able to do anything which can give them financial sustainability whenever they need it or want it. Yeah, because the kind of skills we're talking about, just the skills to apply yourself, just the skills or not just the skills, the awareness to know how the world works, how things happen, networking, getting things done, so on. There are so many things. So that is what I think, what I call as work skills. Those are the real work skills. Then whichever field you go in, if you already know how to find something, do deep research, then you will find it out. There's no big deal. Okay. Anybody else? If you have any question, we can take that.
Ratnesh, I
Yeah.
think with multiple interests, we can also say it's not that if we have multiple interests that all have to convert into a professional earning space. It can also be like what Prashant says, it can be my pet project, you know. So if I'm
Yes,
diverting, then maybe.
absolutely. No, not at all, not at all. That's you have to earn everything out of it. But yeah, a lot of things that you get the freedom and the space to do could be just your pet projects or pet, or whatever you can call it, hobbies or whatever you want to call it, things that you like doing. Absolutely. And I think that's far more important than we give them the importance of. So yeah, thanks for bringing that in. And that's actually true for a lot of even younger children, whether they are at 6 or 7 or Kiara age of 11, 12. I think that's Selvam's daughter is also 12. So I think that's the beauty. Somehow we have somewhere concluded that you have to do only X, Y, Z, and only then you can live in this world. But the beauty of the world is that you can just do what you like doing, and that itself can take you not necessarily in terms of earning, but it can take you in terms of your own growth, so that you are then ready for the world. And then you can figure out where and how you want to earn money, and where and what you want to do with your passion. Whether they can be the source of income, or they can be two things that you do, so that one part is my passion, one part is my business, or however permutation, combination that people can figure out.
Or even all of them can be your income source. I'm bringing in
True.
another angle also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what Drupad keeps telling me. What, Dad, you have only
Yeah.
one source of income. You are so old-fashioned. So people are already thinking of multiple sources of income. Next
Yeah, like
generation would be like that only, Preeti.
yeah, so like even Mishti, if you see 10-year-old, she has 6 interests and she is earning out of all of those interests by creating workshops of it. So
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
how it.
That's also a good point. Multiple sources of income. I wanted to ask if Aarohi does any like MBTI or personality-based profiling, and then finding out what the person is more like, and then um,
Pradeep, you
hiring
don't
them.
need it when you are in open learning. You might need it when you are in a system which is only focusing on XYZ or ABCD rather. But you don't need, I don't even know what is MB, whatever you said that term. I don't even know that.
Like
We don't need
personality
it.
type. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. Preeti, what do you say?
Uh,
I think her audio is frozen. Maybe she's driving. Okay, so we'll not
yeah,
bother
I'm
Preeti
driving.
right now. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. You
No.
focus on the road, dear. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we don't need it because each one is anyway living out of his personality. So automatically what his or her skills are, capabilities are, it's like whatever the test will show, this person is living that every single day. Right? So there is absolutely no, you can say no need to do that.
So, Pradeep, I'm aware of that test. Actually, it is done by fingerprints and all of that. And then finally, a lot of conclusion is taken out of that. So, so it is also what Ratnesh said, it is actually part of system wherein you need certificates all around you. So, in open learning, there is no certificate in terms of somebody else giving certificate. Basically, it is self-driven certification process where we do everything based on our own liking and our own passion, and we develop ourselves in such a manner that we ourselves become a certificate. So, um, so we don't need that test to be done, and it is like astrologer के पास जाके हाथ दिखाने वाला बात, if we get it that way.
Yeah, please focus on the driving. I'm so scared of you.
Yeah, Preeti, you
ड्राइव
can take
करते
it
वक्त
easy.
अच्छा दिमाग चलता है.
Yeah, no, just don't look at phone. You can talk as much as you want to. Absolutely. Yeah, meanwhile, anybody else has any more thoughts, any questions? So this is obviously an open kind of meetups. It depends on what questions and thoughts you have. And if you don't have any questions and thoughts, we can go on to the next meetup next Saturday. Yeah, but the invitation is that you can keep coming, keep asking, or keep hearing, keep listening, whatever helps you. And you can also come to the campus, visit, stay, which we were talking to Selvam, and I think somebody was suggesting that, sorry, Pranav was suggesting that that's one way to introduce yourself and your family to this whole idea of open learning. When you come and stay for a week, that's the time you really get the idea of, okay, so this is how it is, because you see other people doing it, the children, the adults, and not just that, you see them, you actually do it for that 1 week. You step out of whatever else you were doing in your life and do something totally, or rather in a total different environment. So then you get the idea. So yeah, so stay visit is something which is there on a calendar in our website. You can register there. Let me drop the links also here for people who may want to know that. So the idea is you look up the calendar. Not every visit is available for visiting. Uh, you can see which weeks are open and then plan your travel accordingly. There's a registration form which you can fill up. So I'm just posting the links. I posted both the day visit and the stay visit link, though I would personally not recommend the day visit. I would say come and stay over. Before that, get all your questions answered in the meetups, and then, yeah, then you can come. So So cool. So if there are no more questions, we can pause for today. And as I said, we are there every Saturday. So please feel free to join in and engage in more conversations. Yep. Okay, it's nearing 6:30. That's a good time to pause, round figure. Okay, so thank you then. And we'll see some of you in campus. We will see some of you in more meetups. And if you also need connections with other families whom you can go and meet and connect with, that's also a lot of Aarohi families are very open to talking to other families who are just starting or wanting to start or any other support we need. So it's not like that we are a closed community, we're a very open community. Most of the families are very supportive of other families. So feel free to ping us on the WhatsApp. I think Pranav posted the Aarohi WhatsApp number, and we'll see how we can support you. Yeah.
Sorry, my camera was
Okay.
on. I didn't realize that.
No problem, Preeti. Okay, so thank you then.
Bye bye.
We'll
Thank you.
pause for here for today.